Where's Puff? Do you want to come up here? Want Mama? I should probably drink water.
Tell me about how you and Seth met.
I don't know how we met or how I first saw him.
But whatever is the more interesting.
Okay. I'll tell you how we met first.
And you have to do the voices so that we can do...
I don't do voices.
But you have to say... You know what I mean. You've seen the show.
I don't think... Well, I don't remember the dialogue.
Just make it up.
Okay. So, first time I physically spoke to Seth, we were at the pool. Well, I was at the pool. It was August and Carlos had just moved into my apartment. And I was at the pool hanging out in my floaty. And there were two guys that had beer. It was Budweiser regular, not light, which was strange. But I floated over to them because I wanted a beer. And started talking to them, gave me some beer, and then I saw this guy walk in who I may or may not have recognized from around the apartment complex. And he was with this other little kid, this 10-year-old kid who, since he hung out with little kids, I assumed he was a really mature looking junior high student. I didn't see him playing basketball. I was like, oh, he's really attractive, but oh, he's probably in high school because of what the other kids he's hanging out with look like. And so I saw him, I thought he looked pretty attractive, and so I just started talking more with the guys that had given me beer and waited for this attractive guy to come over and talk to me. And eventually he circled around to this side and started talking to me. And that's how I met him. And yeah, I think that's I don't really remember what happened after that. But I remember before that, I had gone to get my car washed, and I knew it was him, because, so I came in, I didn't know how the car wash worked, really, because it was never really open when I was around, and this guy was standing there, and he was telling me to come forward, and I was like, okay, cautiously driving my car forward in this mystery car wash, and he was like, it's okay, you can drive forward a little bit more. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll drive forward a little bit more. And then I went home, and Gabe and Quinn had met this guy that worked at the car wash, and they're like, oh, we just played basketball with this guy that works at the car wash across the street, and he can get us free vacuum tokens, and we can go vacuum our cars for free if you want. We made this new connection, and I didn't really put the two and two together until way after I met Seth. Found out that he was the guy that they had met that can get them free vacuum tokens. And yeah, so I met him at the pool, and then the next day, I think at the pool he had mentioned something about oh, you're the girl that works out all the time. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I might be the girl that works out all the time. That's kind of a weird thing to say. And I was working out on the elliptical, and he walks into the gym at the apartment complex, and he's like, hey, do you want to come to Wings with me and my friend? We're going to go tonight, and we're going to go in 5 minutes. Do you want to join us? And I was like, kind of in the middle of a workout session. Don't think I can finish this and then go home and shower and then come and meet you at this Wings place. And he was like, all right, well, this is where we're going to be. So he left, and then I immediately ran home to shower and look pretty. And then I drove my car up to meet them at this Wings place, and it turned out to be the Country Club in Newcastle, which has the greatest view of anywhere in Seattle. You can see downtown Seattle, you can see downtown Bellevue. It was sunset, it was a really cool time. And he was there with his tank top and cargo shorts, just like he owns the place, even though I was pretty sure we weren't allowed to be there because we were not members of this country club. And him and Jim were playing pool, and I was just there hanging out, and that was the first time we met, and I'm sure we became Facebook friends the next day, but yeah, that's how we met. Oh, and he tried to steal a golf cart right after. I was on my way home, I was gonna go grab my car, drive home. It was a fucking Wednesday. I was gonna go to work the next day, and then Seth jumps into a golf cart with Jim, and they're like, oh, we're gonna drive around on this golf cart. Do you want to jump in? And they were just gonna steal the golf cart and drive around in it for a while. Luckily, I didn't join in that law-breaking situation. I don't know what happened, but I went home. And then I went to work the next day like a responsible fucking adult. Which was not quite Seth at the time. But eventually became what Seth was. One question down.
Okay, good job. Okay, the next question is how the proposal went and how you became engaged.
Oh, it's even better. Okay. So we got to Kauai, and not having had any conversations about getting married or any kind of proposal, not expecting it in any way, because Seth can't afford that. You need a ring to propose to someone. I feel like he's probably not ready to buy a ring yet. So we go, and luckily Shay and Matt had been there a day before, and they found this really cool beach. So we were driving around all day, looking at these really cool sights. We were drinking all day in the car, lots of road beers. And we finally stumbled upon this beach that they had posted a picture of on Facebook the day before. It looked like a really cool beach. It was like this black rock. So we get out and we hike down. And we go to this beach, and I remember taking pictures of everyone. And I regret so much. I tried to take a picture of everyone. I was standing back, and there was Shay and Matt and Seth, and they were all standing in a row, and they were all talking about something. And there was the surf behind them. It was kind of an overcast day. It reminded me of Blue Crush, which it's one of my favorite movies. I was trying to take a picture, but before I could take the picture, they all kind of separated, and I didn't really get the picture I wanted to get, so I just gave up, and I walked down the beach, and I went over to these rocks, and I started climbing up the rocks and looking at things, and there's these waves coming in, and they're splashing, like, super loud, and there was, like, this weird funnel situation where it looked like if you jumped in it, it would just suck you down into, I don't know, some place that you would never get out of, and looked terrifying, but I was taking pictures of it. And I jumped down, and I went to Seth, and I was like, Seth, you gotta come see this thing. And he's like, wait, hold on. And he took the Coors Light out of my hand, and he set it on the rocks, and he set me in this place, and he got down on one knee, but I didn't really register that this was going on. And he said some stuff that I don't really remember exactly what he said, but it was, I don't know, nice things, I suppose. You know, like, I really love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and just, you know, if you would marry me, I'd be the luckiest man in the world, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that's adorable. Like, yeah, it's a really cute place, and it seems like Seth to get down on his knees and talk this nonsense, and like, yeah, of course I'm gonna marry you. Like, okay, yeah. So what are we gonna do next? And since he didn't have a ring in his hand, I just didn't think that he was serious about anything, and just didn't register that he was actually proposing. And then he pointed to the rocks, and he said, well, what's that over there? And I was like, I don't know, it looks like rocks. That's where I was standing earlier. I was taking pictures, and then he pulled me off those rocks to talk some nonsense. And then he went over, it was actually a ring box, which was black, put a black ring box in the black rocks, and expected me to see it and think that there was something different about the nature of the rocks. And pulled it out and opened the box, and there's a ring in it, and I still didn't understand. And I was like, oh, there's a ring here. And I kind of looked at it and was like, okay, so is this, and somehow along those lines, I don't really know exactly what we were talking about, but I finally registered that he was actually asking me to marry him, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm glad I said yes earlier. And then I was like, all right, well, I guess there's a lot of people I need to inform about this. My parents, first of all, Katie and Hillary, second of all, and then eventually everyone else. And so it was immediately stressful, like, oh, fuck. I gotta tell all these people that were engaged, I gotta brace for their reaction, and luckily he had already spoken to my parents, and they were on board, so that was a huge plus. And then as soon as I texted Katie and Hillary and Kristen and everyone else, they were also really happy about the situation, so then I could relax. But yeah, it still took another 2 or 3 days after that to really register exactly what had happened and what I had agreed to. But I'm pretty happy that I immediately said yes rather than, hold on, explain yourself. I need to think about this. I'm glad my first gut reaction was like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to marry you, but what are you talking about?
Okay, so talk about how you guys first met. The story.
Okay, so Cassie and I first met. It was at the apartment complex where we both lived. It was a summer day, and we were both at the pool. Cassie had her floaty and was floating on an air mattress in the pool, and these two guys had came down and had a 12-pack of Rainier cans. And they saw Cassie, as did I, and they asked Cassie if she wanted a beer. And she was like, he floated over and was like, yeah, I'll have a beer. and they started to talk to her. And I wanted to talk to her, so I was like super jealous at the time. And I heard her mention she was from Yakima. And I had previously lived in Yakima, so I felt we had something in common. So I was like, oh, you lived in Yakima, the Palm Springs of Washington. I've been there too. And so she started, that's how I first got her to like talk to me. She ended up leaving, and I did not ask for her phone number. But I knew that I had seen her before working out in the gym. I would go down and play basketball, and I'd see her running on the treadmill in the gym. So I was like, I think the next day I went to play basketball, and I was like, I wonder if I play basketball, if she will come out of her apartment and start working out the gym. So I go down, and I dribbled probably about 3 times before she ran out of her apartment and started to work out. It worked just like I planned. I was able to go in and ask her for her phone number and invite her on a date to the Newcastle Country Club. That's how we met.
Hold on. Okay, Remy, go outside. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my gosh, go away! Oh my god, that was hilarious. Shh. Yes, you're ruining it. He won't be candid now. Okay. And then tell me the story of your proposal and give me like the leading up points of it. How you decided and like all the things. You know what I mean?
Well, I knew going back to when we first met, actually, that day after I first saw Cassie, I told her, my roommate, I would marry that girl. And so, I've always been planning on marrying her since that very first day. And so we ended up going to Kauai for my mother's wedding. And I thought, what a perfect place to propose in Kauai. Love's in the air. My mom's already getting married. So the only problem was getting an engagement ring before we left. It was kind of short notice, so I ended up getting the ring. I was with my sister's boyfriend, Matt, came with me to go ring shopping, and I bought the ring. I told him to hang on to it. We flew to Kauai, and I wanted it to be a surprise. But so I also I'm old fashioned. I called her parents. I wanted to make sure it was okay with her dad, mostly, that he wouldn't kill me if I married his daughter. And so I called Cassie's parents and asked for their permission. So basically everybody knew that I was going to propose besides Cassie.
And what did Steve say when you asked?
Well, I wasn't talking to Steve. I was talking to Roselle, but Roselle mentioned it to Steve, and I believe it was something like, "I will put my guns away." So, we're in Kauai. My sister and her boyfriend had landed a day before we had, and so once we arrived, as soon as Cassie's not around, Matt comes up to me and is like, "I found the perfect place to get engaged." And I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." So it was our first full day in Kauai, and we were gonna do a bunch of touristy stuff. And the first thing we did was drive up to this beautiful canyon, but I was thinking about proposing there, but it was still kind of cloudy and there was a lot of people around. It just didn't feel right. And so we started driving to the North Shore of Kauai, and Matt starts telling me, like, "This is the spot I was telling you about." And so we get out, we go down there, and it was an awesome spot, and so it was the right time to do it. So I knew I was going to do it, and Cassie had kind of wandered off, like, looking at things, and I had taken the ring. I was thinking, would it be cool if I was like, "Hey," if she just, like, found the ring on her own. So I, like, had put it in the spot for her to find it, and I had helped her down, and she was supposed to be finding the ring, and she was just not finding it. And so I kind of had to point it out, like, "Hey, what's that?" And she found it, and she still, I don't think, was sure if it was real. I was like, no, when I helped her down, I proposed. I was like, "Hey, will you marry me?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll marry you," but you could tell, like, she still kind of thought I was joking till I was like, "Hey, what's that?" And she's like, "Oh, this is real. There's a wedding ring." But, yeah, it was still a special moment.
That's good.
I mean, tell Aunt Katie how much your parents love each other.
He's kind of concerned, I think. There's promise there. Okay.